Return to Somerville after the Frozen Empire event, the Spenglers return briefly to Somerville. Phoebe feels drawn to her grandfather Egon's lab, sensing unfinished business. Strange PKE spikes begin around town, despite the containment grid being intact. Meanwhile, Ray Stantz reopens the occult bookstore. He finds an artifact Egon once warned about, the Requiem sigil. The incident in Prague, a ghost-busting team in Prague disappears while investigating a medieval haunted crypt, only their proton packs return, charred and cold. Winston Zeddemore receives the footage and calls in all active Ghostbusters. One word echoes from the static. Edith. Peter Venkman jokes, is that a detergent or a demon? The new recruits Winston unveils the expanded Ghostbusters program, training new recruits across cities. Among them, Mila, a skeptical ex-paranormal investigator, and Cam, a brilliant techie obsessed with spectral AI. They're assigned to work with Trevor and podcast in New York. Tensions rise between old school and new school busting methods. Storm's unnatural lightning storms strike major ley lines, sites of past hauntings. Each time, a ghost from the original team's past returns. Slimer the librarian, even Vigo's whisper. They don't attack, they warn. A Dirith is coming, says the librarian. The Requiem cannot be sealed again. Ray's discovery, Ray deciphers Egon's last notebook entry. He believed there was a fifth spiritual plane beyond death, beyond containment. The Requiem sigil is a key left unsealed since the events of Gozer. It binds spirits that were never meant to be caught. Ray, we've been trapping echoes. This is their voice. Possessed Tech Cam builds a new AI-assisted trap grid, but the tech begins glitching, responding to ghosts before they appear. Mila's attacked by a possessed ghost trap that opens on its own. Winston orders all AI units shut down. Phoebe suggests, maybe the ghosts are using our own tools to break out. Dirith's history through old occult texts, they learned Dirith was a spiritual architect, not a ghost, but a builder of ghost dimensions. He created spiritual planes like prisons. But one day, he was betrayed by his own creations and sealed in a cursed artifact. The Prague team had unknowingly broken that seal. The Requiem plane, using a prototype dimension viewer, Phoebe and podcast peer into the Requiem plane. It's a colorless world of time-locked spirits, ghost frozen mid-moment, reliving trauma. They spot the lost Prague team, trapped in looping echoes. Ray, Dirith didn't just build prisons, he feeds on pain. Egon's message in Somerville, Phoebe uncovers an unfinished message from Egon, hidden in an old PKE spike generator. He warns, if Dirith ever awakens, don't trap him. Sever the source. The source is buried under New York at the site of the original firehouse. Below us, Ray realizes, is where the Requiem gate lies. The underneath the team descends into tunnels beneath the firehouse. Finding ancient ruins built over by Ivo Shandor, they discover a sealed monolith covered in unknown glyphs. Suddenly it pulses. One of the recruits disappears in a burst of spectral energy. They barely escape. Peter, that's it. I'm retiring. Again. Ghosts flood Manhattan, ghosts flood out of every grid system, and Nick controlled not by rage but by Dirith's will. Ghostbusters stations across the U.S. report similar mass hauntings. The entire spiritual web is compromised. Phoebe. He's not possessing ghosts, he's puppeteering pain. A desperate plan, the team plans to lure Dirith into a synthetic version of the Requiem plane, an AI-trapped mirror dimension. But doing so requires someone to enter physically and activate the collapse manually. Phoebe volunteers. Trevor objects. She says, if Grandpa went alone, I won't let that happen again. The mirror trap, they use the Requiem sigil as a tuning fork to tear open a temporary gate. Phoebe and Cam enter the mirror dimension, bringing customized traps with the empathy-based tech. They find Dirith's core form, a towering figure made of bone echoes and memories. He speaks, "Your pain birthed me. Your love sustains me." Ghostbusters assemble all surviving Ghostbusters, old and new, here up in New York. Slimer shows up, defending the firehouse with unexpected courage. Podcast live streams the event under the tag #LastStandNYC. Crowds gather. The world watches. The ghosts, they pause, they charge. The final confrontation while Phoebe distracts Dirith in the mirror plane. The team must hold the real-world gate open. Cam begins glitching. The AI trap is fighting back. Dirith almost consumes Phoebe, but she uses Egon's memory as a shield. Uwan appears holographically saying, "You finish what I started." The collapse begins. The Requiem plane destabilizes. Ghosts scream, collapsing into white dust. Dirith breaks apart but tries to drag Phoebe with him. Trevor overrides the gate failsafe, willing to bring her back or go in himself. She emerges barely alive, sigil in hand. Calm after chaos, ghost activity around the world vanishes. The ghost web resets itself. The Requiem sigil disintegrates. Ray says, that thing won't open again. Not unless someone is truly desperate. Either let's hope they're not also stupid. Egon's legacy Phoebe places a photo of Egon and the team on the firehouse wall. Winston announces plans for a new ghost research foundation. Slimer becomes a firehouse mascot again. Podcast signs a book deal. A Ghosts, Gadgets, and Grandfathers. Passing the torch, the old team decides to step back. Phoebe, Trevor, Mila, Cam, and Podcast become the core Ghostbusters. Their next mission comes from an unusual source, NASA Ghost Signals. From the moon, Peter, you kids are gonna need bigger proton pack. Post-credit scene, the dark signal in a European monastery. A monk scans ghostly runes. He hears a voice whisper, Adirith was only a builder. I am the architect. Cut to black, Right Arrow Ghostbusters. Architect of the Abyss coming soon.